to my channel. I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, fantasy romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. Happy Wednesday! I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Before we get started with today's video, I'd just like to mention July is Disability Pride Month. So I would just like to say Happy Disability Pride Month. I have cerebral palsy, and yeah, I just like people to be aware. But today's video is going to be the fantasy romance book tag. Get to know the fantasy romance reader. I saw Hannah from Hannah Blackwell, Jess at Honest Fiction, Crystal from Crystal Bookish Life, Jen from the Book Refuge, Avery from Ava's Romance Reads,
also Becky from Beck's
and Rachel
X
from
Reads.
Ravenhead Reader do this tag video, and I thought it was pretty fun. So here are my answers to these questions. I'll leave the questions down below in the description in case you want to answer them. Question number 1. What book got you into fantasy romance for the first time? And the book I'm gonna say is Soul Savers by Kristen Cook. And I want to say I read this because of my older sister. I think this came out 2012, but it's a romance between an angel, like a demon, and it was my first time reading fantasy romance, and I read that book because of my sister, and I still really enjoy those books. But yeah, Soul Savers by Kristen Cook. Romance between an angel and a demon. So it's a forbidden romance because the demon represents the devil. So their relationship is forbidden. It has 7 books in the series. And yeah, I really like it. Question number 2. If you could pick one fantasy world to move to, what would it be? Now I'm gonna cheat and say the world from Immortal Instruments by Cassandra Clary, because it is set in a world. It is set in New York, so I'm gonna go with Immortal Instruments, because if I pick any other ones like Valeris or the Night Court, I don't think I would survive in those worlds. So the world in Immortal Instruments. If you could marry one bookish hero or heroine, who would it be? Question number 3. Of course, it would be Rhys Sand. He is my ultimate fantasy hero crush, so it will be Rhys. Number 4. If you could kill off one fantasy romance character, what would it be? Okay, I would pick, he absolutely hated the villain in Akatar, and I hated the villain in Thorn of Glass. Every time she showed up, I really disliked her after what she put Aelin through. So it would be those characters. If you could be one paranormal creature or being, what would it be? I would pick a witch, because mostly they have elemental magic, and I really like elemental magic. What fantasy romance character do you truly believe would be your best friend? I'm gonna go with Lysandra from the Thorn of Glass series, and Manon from Agatar. I just think they're really cool. And see, I'm an introvert, so I think they would get me out of my shell. What would your fantasy weapon of choice be? That's interesting. I don't know if it would be a weapon per se, because I have cerebral palsy and I'm not good with like my hands and stuff. I don't have the strength to carry a weapon, but I am currently reading the Psy Changeling series by Nalini Singh, and the Psy have telekinetic powers. So I think telekinesis would be really cool. Who is the sexiest fantasy romance character of all time? Again, I would go with the Rhysand. If you could pick one fantasy book to burn, what would it be? I don't know if I would burn any fantasy romance book, because I love fantasy romance so much. But if I could pick one book that I would like for it to be shorter, I would go Tower of Dawn, because I thought, even though I liked Tower of Dawn, I think it was way too long. So I wouldn't want to burn it, but I would cut down some of the page line. If you could choose one fantasy romance book, and it's the only book you'll ever read, what would it be? It would be A Court of Mist and Fury. All I have to say is chapter 55 and 56. That confession scene was everything. If I only had to choose one fantasy romance book for the rest of my life, it would be that one, because I would just reread the confession scene, because up till now it still sticks in my brain. If you could recommend one fantasy romance book to a reader that is new to the genre, what would it be? I would pick Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, because the world building is not that intensive, and I think it's a really good series. And I know my friend Caitlin from the Love Library, she's not really into fantasy romance, but she loves Serpent and the Wings of Night. So I would recommend that one. Those are all the questions for the fantasy romance tag. Get to know the fantasy romance reader. Please let me know down in the comments below what are your answers to these questions. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. And I'll see you Friday. Bye.